but give me a sense of what you think the unemployment situation is like in Japan and what it tells us about economic conditions.
Mm-hmm. So it's very good to see a lower unemployment rate. And then I think in March, there was some increase in unemployed people, mainly because of their own personal reason. So I was not really worried about it. So, I'm not very surprised with this data this morning. Having said that, when I look at the job offers number, over just a few months, I noticed there is some declining numbers. So it means that economic activity in Japan are not very strong. So also labor market is good, but not extremely tight.
That number would suggest it is quite tight, wouldn't it? I mean, what would be a historically comfortable number for Japan's jobless rate?
Mm-hmm. So last year it was like 2.5, 2.4. And also, if you look at the output gap numbers, it's a broader, and the numbers which show the economic overall, the strength of demand. And according to the government data, the Japan's output gap remained minus 1.5%. Also, labor market, and there is still some slack. And also, in terms of production capacity, it's not fully utilized. So in that sense, Japanese economy is still on the recovery process, but it doesn't mean the very strong economic recovery is happening.
Because this is really the key consideration, isn't it, for Japan? The question of, have we finally broken the deflationary trend of decades? And if so, if we are back to inflation, is it transitory and is it controllable? Mm-hmm. Because if, as the rest of the world has experienced, that inflation mm-hmm. isn't transitory and keeps going higher, then Japan's in a very difficult situation, isn't it?
Yes. So we had this May CPI data for Tokyo. It was very strong, and Japan's inflation is way above 2%. But 60% of Japan's inflation comes from food, whereas U.S. only 20% of inflation comes from food. So in Japan, food matters, and another 10% comes from eating out. So and basically it's related to food. So about 75% of Japan's inflation comes from food. So if we look at the food prices, imported food prices are already coming down. So we can really see inflation will go down toward the end of this year, consistent with what Bank of Japan is saying. However, recently, yen is depreciating quite sharply. So if the yen remain at this level, that would be the main contributor to the Japan's inflation. So it may be a bit harder to see a decline in inflation. So in that sense, because of this Japan's yen's depreciation is leading to the higher imported inflation and the CPI inflation, probably people may expect some policy change with regards to Bank of Japan's some policy adjustment.